Welcome. I'm your host, Michael Israel. Welcome to today's show. Today's a special one. It's called A Gift for You. You are a gift in someone's life. And that's the concept of today's show. July 9th, 2020, 1:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Georgia. Today's my birthday, y'all. We're gonna vibe for a minute. But it's not about me. It's about what we give to the world. We're like pieces of fruit. We're like seeds. We're like trees. A lot of times, we're focused on what we can get on these days that we call special, when we should be focused on those who we can give to. Let's vibe for a minute. Coming soon, the song that you're listening to right now is going to be a part of FTP3, Freestyle the Album Part 3. I'm not sure what I'm going to do to this one yet. It's dope, right? All glory to the Most High. All glory to the Most High. Yeah. 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 Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. If this is your first time, thank you. Everybody else, mad love to you. They say if it comes from the heart, it's heartfelt, right? So, I got one more. It's hot off the press. And it was a freestyle that came from the heart. Don't have a title for it. But once the studio comes together, it'll be a lot much more better. Sound quality. And maybe I'll even start writing then. But here's a new one. And then we'll get started with the show. Check it out.
Oh, no. Come on, tell me. If I don't, you might not come through.
What is it you want, Mary? What do you want? You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down. Hey, that's a pretty good idea. I'll give you the moon, Mary.
Why they keep lying to us? We ain't never made it to the moon, and the world ain't running out of food. Y'all coming back soon, but why they keep lying to us? We ain't make it to the moon. The moon is just a plate. It's a little light. Ain't that great? Don't get me wrong. The sun is the greatest light, and the moon is the second light, and the moon got a name. It got 4 names. Asanja, Bernays. The other one is Abla. And the fourth is E-Ray. The moon got names. It's not named the moon. And the sun has a name. And it goes through the sky, through portals and under the sky. And it comes back round around the sky. But anyway, we got a story to tell. And what's yours? When you get to the heaven gates and they run your whole life tape, what you gonna do then? What you gonna do then? Being judged by aborted children. This world kinda crazy though. They trying to take our guns though. We just gotta keep living for y'all. And do right. And live right. Do more love. No more grudge. We got a story to tell. You got a story to tell. Make it to the heaven gates. They play your whole life tape. What you gonna do then? What you gonna do then? When you get to the heaven gates, you gonna be straight? You don't wanna go to hell. You don't wanna do that. We got a story to tell. What's yours? What's yours? Sleeping with the snakes? Throw your life away? That's not the right thing. Just do the right thing. And we are back, Real TV. Thank you for joining the show. All glory to the Most High. We thank the Lord for another day to be together and to have this time. Sometimes we take it for granted, but it's a blessing to be alive. And may Yah's hand be upon you today, touching your life with joy, blessing your heart with love, and comforting your soul with peace, and that you have a peace of mind with everything going on in the world. Yes, really quick, we'll touch on, not on the mainstream news, just a bit, and then we'll dabble into the show, a gift for you. So, I'm not sure if you all know, but in Washington governor to residents, COVID test deniers will not be allowed to leave home to get groceries. Just recapping off of this, it is a little dated on this one, but I bring it up to bring a point. It says here, at press conference in Washington State, Governor Jay Inslee laid out plans for the statewide contact tracing initiative. The initiative is robust, it is vigorous, and it is comprehensive, and it needs to be all three to be successful, Inslee said. If we do not succeed in this second stage of our efforts, this virus could come right back and bite us, says Bright. But it could come right back and bite us, end quote. All right. So, what else are they saying here? I don't want to read this entire article. Um, it says in his note, Inslee provided contact tracing box in the virus. Contact tracing involves interviewing people with positive COVID-19 tests to identify who they've been in contact with, getting those people tested, and making sure they isolate themselves and their families. Just the other day, there was a reporter who said they, who is that? It may have been the mayor of Atlanta. No, not the mayor of Atlanta. It was somebody. Somebody got a COVID-19 test, and I guess they came up positive. They had a questionnaire. They never got a call back. Basically, they got a call on the first go-round about contact tracing. And I guess the personnel lost reception. They never called the person back. But the person who said they had the COVID-19 or whatever said that when they was called for the isolation call and for the contact tracing call, that they were just how can I say, they were just given a lot of bogus questions, and they didn't really coincide with anything to do with contact tracing, really. Okay, so back to this article. Let's see. Well, okay. All right. At the press conference, one reporter asked, when it comes to contact tracing, how are you guys going to handle people or families who want to refuse to test or to self-isolate? If they want to leave their home to get groceries, I know you said they can't do that. How will you make sure they don't? In the governor's response, he said, we will have attached to the families a support person who will check in with them to see what they need on a daily basis. They're going to have a support person. Who is this family support person going to be? Is it going to be somebody of the family? Is it going to be military personnel? I don't think it's going to be someone close to them, because that person close to them could very well get it. And then who's going to check and be their support system, right? So it's probably going to be military personnel when they do the military mobilization. It says if they can't get a friend to do their grocery shopping, we will help them get groceries in some fashions. If they need pharmaceuticals to be picked up, we will make sure they get their pharmaceuticals. That's going to encourage them to maintain their isolation too. Then the article reads more, but in a nutshell, we know that military mobilization is coming soon. They're most likely going to implement martial law probably sometime the end of this year, the beginning of the year. And the virus by then will be active, because we have to remember that they go by problem, reaction, solution. And right now, we're in the reaction state. The problem itself was mentioning that coronavirus exists. Now we're in what I would want to call the second phase, or the second step. And that second step is reaction. They go by the motto, order de cayo. Problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem, they get the reaction from the people, and they create the solution to the problem that they created in the first place once they get the reaction from the people. And right now, whether this virus is active or less active, which a lot of people have their own interpretation, but let's just say that it's active and it's real, and the numbers are what they are. Okay? It's only going to double in the fall. Let's say that it's not as real as we think it is. Okay? Then even if they say it's not real, it's one of the biggest lies, not the biggest lie, but it's one of the biggest lies that they could say on a worldwide scale to do such a thing, to bring a new world order into place. Desperate measures. In desperate times calls for desperate measures. They're so desperate for this new world order that it's a worldwide pandemic. Pandemonic. Demonic plan for the world to receive the mark of the beast. And with this, it's going to be terrible. When the second wave does come, it's going to be very, very terrible. And I want to say this while it's on my mind. If you haven't prepared, you still need to prepare. You still need to make your place just as comfy as it needs to be. So when the shutdown happens for the second time and you're not able to leave, at least your place is at a level where you want it and at the comfort where you want it. I mean, I'm talking about squeaky clean. If you got to get new blinds, get new blinds. If you got to dust your ceilings and your shelves and things. If you got to paint and like repaint, if you need to change your carpet, if you need to do the flooring, if you need to like whatever it is that you need to get your place together, if you need a new AC, if you need blankets for the winter and candles and food, whatever it is, you need to make sure that all your T's are crossed and you dot your I's. You know, make sure that you are prepared because it's coming. It's coming. You will have no excuse. No reason to be sad if you don't take heed now and take the steps necessary. Not only food, but if there's any medicine that you may need for when times are at hand, when you get sick, if you have a cold, if you sneeze, if you need Claritin, if you need, I don't know, Robitussin or something, you need vitamins, whatever it is, make sure you stock up on those necessities also. Because the shelves are going to be wiped clean of all those things. Advil, Tylenol, cough syrup, things like that is going to be gone. Just like the toilet tissue, just like that rubbing alcohol is going to be gone. So take time to take care of yourself. We're going to do just one more Not on the Mainstream News. And I'll say a few things about what's going on, and we'll get into a show, a gift for you. Because I'm going to drop a few shows today. I'm going to try to do as many as I can. Between today and the next few days, I'm just going to be dropping them. Because we're at desperate times right now that the world needs the truth. And even though a lot of us know what's going on and we could see the details and we don't need a video, it's just good to have. It's just good to see, to know that somebody else understands your thoughts. You know what I mean? That's what Real TV was created for. I created this platform because I needed to vent about the things that I knew and the things that I saw, my truth. And I'm thankful that you all can relate to the truth and that not everybody is asleep. All right. Now in the mainstream news, Melbourne, Australia, 9 public housing towers with 3,000 residents forcibly locked in their homes. Unable to leave their apartments, 500 armed police keeping them inside. This coincides with the Washington State regulation that we just read. That's coming soon. And not only Washington State, but we're talking about the nation as a whole. And if the United States do it, just think about the other countries. All right. Police on every floor. No one allowed in or out. Forced door-to-door testing and food rationing. This sounds like Soylent Green at its finest. This is going on right now in Melbourne, Australia. 3,000 people living in 9 public housing towers in Melbourne have been placed under the harshest lockdown rules of the coronavirus pandemic in Australia so far, and banned from leaving their homes for at least 5 days. The Victorian government's decision to lock down all 9 towers was made because of patterns of movement, friendship groups. This goes with the whole contact tracing. Family groups, the premier said. Daniel Andrews also cited crowded living, public housing, and many communal spaces, meaning community transmission was high risk. 500 police officers have been dispatched to monitor the 9 towers on Flemington and North Melbourne to ensure that the residents do not leave their small and often overcrowded units. So they got the police doing theirs. I don't think that the police are so much gonna, how can I say, oversee the population in their apartment complexes and homes and things when it comes to it, because with all the feud going on, it's like a civil war. It's a miniature civil war in America right now, and police are involved with this. Police are doing a lot of brutality against the blacks continually. So I don't think by a majority blacks would even trust or appreciate the police guarding their homes. I could see them getting away with Coast Guard and Marines and Army and military personnel, and it will be like a police state, but it wouldn't necessarily be the police. You got me? Okay. Where were we? Okay. Residents living in flats are among the most vulnerable and heavily policed people in the state of Victoria, with the high population of new migrants, indigenous people who experience severe mental illness, and people who have experienced family violence or homelessness. Residents told The Guardian Australia they felt singled out by the lockdown order, which was implemented with no warning at 4 p.m. All right, so it's so bad in Australia. They didn't even give them no heads up. They just made it so at a certain time. They didn't even tell them. They didn't give them a week advance. They didn't give them 3 days advance, because people would revolt. It just happened out the blue. And the same thing is going to happen in the Americas. Okay, so they felt singled out and locked down. They felt singled out by the lockdown order, which was implemented with no warning at 4 p.m. and intimidated by the large police presence. The difference between the more than 300,000 people in Melbourne under the Stage 3 orders and the 9 towers, that those under stay-at-home orders can leave their homes to exercise, do grocery shopping, conduct essential caregiving, and attend work or study if they cannot do so remotely. Those living in towers, those living in towers cannot. All right, so what they're saying is that these 9 particular towers in Australia have stay-home orders. They can't leave, they can't exercise, they can't go grocery shopping, they can't go look at and care for family members, they can't go to work, and they can't go to school. So obviously they got somebody doing their errands for them. It says they got them on quarantine for at least 5 days at minimum. Even though it says the lockdown could last at least 14 days. All right. Yo, if this is going on for real, it's pretty serious. And if it comes to the U.S., I wouldn't be surprised. Can't put nothing past it. But it just goes to say that the times are nigh. The world will never be the same again. The world will never be normal again. Not after this. Not after this. So much emphasis is being placed on Black Lives Matter. It's just time for Jacob's awakening. Esau is the beginning, Jacob is the end. And more than ever, people are being awakened on a mass scale. Blacks are the focus right now. And sooner than later, the truth will be known to the entire world. You have it just the other day, there's an Eagles football player, I can't think of his name, who went on a record on social media and said that blacks are the true children of Israel, that we are the true children of the Most High. And he gave this excerpt from a book giving some quotes that was referenced from Hitler. Man, the truth is getting out there, man, but he should have stood by what he said, man. He took it back, and but you know, it is what it is, man. It's coming together. Let's see. Evictions are coming up soon. It's gonna be terrible. People are gonna be evicted. They're not gonna have a place to go. They're not gonna have any money, no food, just out in the street, just like their stuff, just out in the street, just there. And it's gonna be an uproar, man. People are gonna riot more than ever. I think the protests or something now is gonna be worse. It's gonna be even more worse. Come the end of this month, August is gonna get terrible. Unemployment is gonna run out of money. People getting that $600. To some people, it's a benefit. It's just extra bonus money, and to others, they really need it. Some people really gotta pay credit card bills, and they really gotta pay their mortgage and all these other things they have to take care of. They really need it. Especially in certain demographics like San Francisco and New York, where the cost of living is just out the window. Did y'all see the video of the mayor of Atlanta talking about how she has coronavirus? I'm not sure if you watched it or not, but it glitches. I really think that that wasn't her. Even though it was her image, but I don't think it was her. The technology is so advanced. They can sync your image with words of their own and make it look like you said what you said. But she spoke in that room so many different times, and it just so happened to glitch the entire time. But anyways, man, besides that, you have $1 billion is being cut from the NYPD. The New York Police Department is defunding their police by $1 billion. We're talking about the merchant city of the world. The merchant city is defunding their police. If you ever went to Times Square, you ever went to New York, you know what I'm talking about. When you see 10 to 20 cops in one group with machine guns and SWAT team gear plotted around the city here and there. They're defunding the police by $1 billion. That's a lot of money. Says a lot for New York, and other cities are soon to follow. The purge is coming soon. And, you know, with the uproar in Atlanta, with Ricky Smiley's daughter being shot, you got Plage. They shot his car up all in the same week. You got black protesters armed going to Stone Mountain. It's just all a game, man. His daughter being shot, to the 8-year-old being shot and killed. You know, man, it's just terrible, man. It's the games that these elite play are just terrible. It's ridiculous. It's beyond belief. But they use it as a smokescreen. They say all Black Lives Matter, when honestly we know that it really doesn't. And we know why, which we're not going to get into detail. But we know that it's all an agenda to coincide and to morph the LGBT community, gay pride, lesbian pride, pedophilia, all into the mix. It's not about blacks, but they're trying to make it like it is. But they say, why should it matter anyway when blacks are killing each other? It was the blacks that killed the 8-year-old girl. It was the blacks that probably shot Ricky Smiley's daughter. And it was the blacks that probably shot Plodge. And it was the blacks that shot Pac. And the list goes on. It's the blacks that keep shooting at each other. But they're marching at the same time saying that Black Lives Matter. So they make it seem like it doesn't make any sense. But at the same time, the dangerous killer is the one in the suit and tie. The police wear their pants on their waist, with a buckle and a collar shirt, church slacks, and socks. And they're the main ones doing the killing. It just goes to say a lot. Now in the mainstream news, I know you heard about Kanye West accepting the PPP loan. He's running for president. Like, these celebrities are broke. These celebrities are broke. How is it that they just said the other day, not too long ago, that Ye is on to almost a billionaire if he's not already, and yet you're getting a PPP loan? Jay-Z and Beyonce are combined total are like over just a little bit over $1 billion. Yet they took out a loan for their Bel Air condo. You know, it's just these people are rich on paper. These people get to flex by permission with the suitcase of money. And it's really a joke. Jeff Koons. I'm an artist. I'm a painter. I admired some of Jeff Koons' earlier work, and some of his stuff is pretty cool. Some of his work sell for like $28 million a piece, $48 million, $50 million a piece. He's in a renowned museums. What is he doing with a PPP loan? Jeff Koons. Planned Parenthood got $65 million in PPP loans. I mean, let's get real here. You got a Hebrew school. What is it? Gerardi Kunzner or Kunzire, whatever it is. They got a PPP loan. It's just so many people are just getting it out of the woodworks. Man, they just getting money, man. It's too good to be true. The dollar is going to crash. They already got the Miro. I don't know if it's going to be the Miro next as the cryptocurrency or something else. But it's coming. You could believe that. We're dishing out trillions of dollars in the U.S. Everybody's getting their little piece of change and we're happy with the money. But, you know, what's going to happen when it's time to pay our dues? Like, we're paying all this money out to the people. But what happens when China want their money back tonight? They call the president like, you know what? We see that you all are giving out trillions of dollars. You know, we want you all to pay your debt. We want it paid in full. What's going to happen? They're going to crash the dollar. Or they'll go to war first. Or they'll say that they'll return the money and they won't. And they'll end up giving the people over as monetary. Because the people of the world is the highest value in the entire world. It's over money. It's over food. We have to grow the food. We got to plant it. We got to care for people. We got to care for each other. You know, the list goes on. The people is the highest form of resource. So what's going to happen with all these trillions of dollars that is being given out and loaned out when we're already like $26 trillion in debt and then some? It's crazy, right? You know, with everything going on with Seattle, how they shut down the CHOP area, it makes you wonder about Seattle. Why was Seattle such a focus after Minneapolis? Is it because Bill Gates has a home in Seattle and it's a miniature sacrifice for the city? It makes you wonder, right? The power is changing. The power is changing right now, and the world knows it. And the evil people who are a part of the elite and who plan to bring in the New World Order, and a lot of the Caucasian people, not all of them, but a lot of them who have had and enjoyed white supremacy for so long, know that the power is changing, that the focus is on Black America right now. They're getting desperate, like an animal that has been hurt, or like an animal that has been hurt and that is about to die, or that is about to go into a kennel or something. When an animal feels cornered and they're injured, an injured animal brings out the worst and most violent behavior. They panic. We're human beings, but we're still animals. We're Homo sapiens, but we're still animals at the top of the food chain. And sometimes, some people, in some circumstances, have animal tendencies. The power structure is changing. And a gift for you from the world is a new world order. That's what they have planned. That's the agenda. And what makes it all the odd is that they know the word. Again, this is not to all Caucasians, okay? Because I have Caucasians that are married into my family. I have Caucasian friends, or colleagues, if you will. I don't know anyone that has friends anymore. It's like that was a fad. Or, you know what I'm talking about. Like, not a lot of people can even count on both hands 10 friends they could just call on the phone at like 4 a.m. and just be like, tacos, 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 and just hang up. You know what I mean? That's a friend. They be like, man, what you want? What you need? Everything good? You could just, that's a friend. You know what I mean? We could just be yourself. Tell them everything. I don't know by majority who has like 30 friends. Even Yeshua himself only had 12, if you will, or 11. One was, well, you could say 2, if you will. Judas turned his back on him, and Peter denied him 3 times. But by majority, they know the word. They know the scripture. They know the Bible. They know the Apocrypha. They know the book of Joshua. They know all the books that were taken out of the Bible. And they kept it away from us for centuries. They know the word better than us. The theologians, the scientists, the politicians, the snakes. They know it way better than we do. We're just getting a taste of it and just getting our feet wet, getting our beak wet from learning the Lord's word and knowing who we are and knowing that we're the chosen few. One of the worst things, it's not the worst thing, but one of the greatest things that they did that was just absurd was change the image of the judges thereof. Even though the book is all about black people, the Holy Bible is all about black people. The names are black. For the most part. But it's our book. they changed the paintings. They took scriptures out. One of the worst things they did was change the painting of the Lord and give him a blonde hair and blue eye image when his skin was made of burnished brass and he had hair like wool. He was dark. He was black. And some people like to battle to say that Yeshua was not a Lord. He was a Lord. You type up Lord and see how many times it populates in the Bible with his name next to it. Lord, Lord. Even kings are considered lords. King Arthur, Lord Arthur. Like in England, they call people lords. Doesn't mean like, you kind of get what I'm saying? Like he's the son of Yahweh and he is a Lord. Some people like to denounce that and say that he is not a Lord or that you're worshiping two masters. They're one and the same. They're one and the same. And I'm not going to get into that right now because that's not today's show. But know that the Son, the Father, and the Holy Ghost is one and the same. Have y'all heard about the 15% pledge? The 15% pledge where there were businesses, name brand businesses, renowned businesses, are making an attempt to give 15% of their shelf space and floor space to black businesses. That's because they're looking for a come up, man. You got to be circumspect. You got to be suspicious of when the enemy has their hand out to help. You know what I mean? It's like a person hanging on the cliff and their fingers are on the edge, but somebody comes and lifts their hand down that's been their enemy all their life. Do you trust your enemy? You have no choice. If you're in a situation, you're hanging off a cliff. You have no choice but to reach for their hand if they're trying to grab yours. And it's like the blacks during this period right now, we're in a situation where a lot of us are being called names, whether it's in real life or social media. People get to typing instead of talking, hide behind the screen, or they call you a nigga, or we're being raped, killed. And this has been going on for a very long time. And it's like we're on a cliff with our fingers on the edge, and our enemy comes to our rescue, holds his hand out to help us from off this cliff. We have no choice but to reach our hand out. And we're taking the chance. And in the midst of it all, it's like we don't know if he's going to pull his hand back and just step on our knuckles and make us fall and spit in our face. But what we have to be reminded of is that supporting black businesses is not going to get the job done. Marching is not going to get the job done. It's just not. Like, forget the 15% and give us back Wall Street. They burned down Tulsa and they didn't even admit it till years later. If black lives, quote unquote, matter, stop making us join frats and sorors, and the Masonic Order, and the Order of Eastern Star, and the OTO, and the Bohemian Grove, and the Trilateral Commission, and the United Nations, and all these other orders, to get our hands dirty just to have a peace of mind, just to have a brick and mortar, just to, you know what I mean, to keep your secrets or keep the secrets. Like, that's such a deal with the devil, yo. That's like so messed up. Like, if it really matters, then just let us like be successful. Let us just own a business. Let us give us our reparation. You know what I mean? It just, man, it's just terrible, man. It's terrible. Let alone, they trying to change the names of all these different things. Like, there's a group called Lady Antebellum. They're trying to drop Antebellum and call themselves Lady A. And now they got to go to court because there's already a black singer named Lady A. And now the Lady Antebellum group band is being sued. They're trying to drop names now. They're trying to add shelf space. If y'all gonna change some names, let's get real. Stop calling it the Great White Shark. Stop calling it the White Rhinoceros when it's not a white rhinoceros. The rhinoceros is gray, and even when it's wet, it looks black. It's from Africa. Why I got to be white? Why I got to be a white tiger? It's not even white. You know what I mean? Why are they genetically modifying species and creating things like the white alligator and a white ape and a white gorilla and things? You know, I'm not saying that it can't happen in the DNA structure over time, because it does happen. But a lot of the things that they do are scientifically created. And we're going to get into this shortly. But, you know, change those names. Why I got to be the white-throated snapping turtle? You know, the throat is not even white. It's like a yellowish color. It's brown in most cases. They call it the white-throated snapping turtle. You know, things like that. I mean, yo, we're going to take a quick break. And then we're going to talk about the true gift. I'm going to give you a gift because it's not about me receiving a gift. The gift today is going to be as many as videos as I can for you. Because we're put on this world to all do something. Whatever it is that you're to do, only you know. Only the Lord knows. Maybe your family and friends know. But you know truly what's in your heart, what you have to do. This is just something that I'm supposed to do, I feel. Who knows? But what we do know is that there's going to come a time where we all are going to be accounted for the things we done in life. And we're going to take a short break and we're going to listen to a few. We're going to jam out a few and we're going to come back and we're going to get into some scripture and finish up. I want to go running today and I want to eat good. I'm off finally, so yeah, happy about that. To finally be off from work, man. That dang on quarantine had me so spoiled. I can't wait till they cut the check, man. God dang on, cut us some more money. I'm telling you, if they cut another big check, which they will, within the next month or so. When they do, if it's big enough, I might just, I'm paying off my rent ahead anyways. I'm like 6 months ahead right now. I'm a 6 months rent free, paid up. And if you could pay your rent, you got some extra money to do it, go ahead and take care of it. I could pay up this rent for the end of this lease, man, I'm quit work and I'll be able to do this full time for y'all, man. Drop more shows, do more videos, and actually, god dang on, enjoy being away from these snakes. I see so many snakes. I'm talking about literal snakes. They eyes change. You know what I mean? They know that I know, and I know they know that I know. I can feel their energy. They can feel mine. I try not to look in their eyes when their eyes be all flipping like little slits and they teeth be morphing. And by majority, again, there's no offense to the Caucasians as a whole, but by majority, they are white. There's been some black ones too, and some Puerto Rican ones, Mexican Hispanic ones, Indian ones. Satan has seeds of all different races. Don't get it twisted. It's just by majority, a lot of them are white people. And again, there's no offense to Caucasians, but I'm just calling it how it is. The Lord has given me a gift to see the snakes for who they are. I don't know why, but I'm sure that one day I will understand why he's giving me the ability to see them for who they are. I can see them. They're wearing some type of biological mask, yo. I don't know how they do it, but Satan has some type of technology where they got it down pat. Even the babies, little baby infants, they little eyes be have you ever seen Rosemary's Baby? Or better yet, because I don't even want you to watch Rosemary's Baby. The ending part, you shouldn't watch it. It's so evil. You got to pray, like, shut it off. As soon as you hear that crazy part, you got to shut it off immediately and just start praying and bless your house. You know what I mean? But so you could better relate. In Michael Jackson's Thriller, at the very end, when the video's open, when he turns around and looks, they don't have, when he looks at the camera, they don't have, like, yellow eyes. But it's like alligator-like. It's like cat-like. And it can even get as thin as a needle, their eyes, man. They get the squinting and stuff. And, you know, it's crazy. Anyways, man, what's your story when all of this is done? I don't have a title for this new draft, but this is a new song. Again, when I get the studio up and going and really running, I'm going to make some real music. Real music. This is the new one, y'all. We got a few more after this. Coming back soon. Enjoy.
Oh, no.
Come on, tell me.
If I don't, you might not come through.
What is it you want, Mary? What do you want? You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down. Hey, that's a pretty good idea. I'll give you the moon, Mary.
Why they keep lying to us? We ain't never made it to the moon, and the world ain't running out of food. Y'all coming back soon. But why they keep lying to us? We ain't make it to the moon. The moon is just a plate. It's a little light. Ain't that great? Don't get me wrong. The sun is the greatest light, and the moon is the second light. And the moon got a name. It got 4 names. Asanja, Bernays. The other one is Abla. And the 4th is Iray. The moon got names. It's not named the moon. And the sun has a name. And it goes through the sky, through portals and under the sky. And it comes back round around the sky. But anyway, we got a story to tell. And what's yours? When you get to the heaven gates and they run your whole life tape, what you gonna do then? What you gonna do then? Being judged by aborted children. This world kinda crazy though. They trying to take our guns though. We just gotta keep living for y'all. And do right. And live right. Do more love. No more grudge. We got a story to tell. You got a story to tell. Make it to the heaven gates. They play your whole life tape. What you gonna do then? What you gonna do then? When you get to the heaven gates, you gonna be straight? You don't wanna go to hell. You don't wanna do that. We got a story to tell. What's yours? What's yours? Sleeping with the snakes? Throw your life away? That's not the right thing. Just do the right thing. Q&A. We got another one. And I've got a lot of questions. I mean, I have some of the answers, but I've got questions and I need answers. I'm gonna do this in one take. Here we go. How you tell me you straight, but your mood ain't right? How did we make it to the moon when the moon is light? Somebody lying. Somebody tell me why. I know why. 'Cause they're afraid of light. If the whole world knew the truth, the whole world would cry. Yes, the whole world would fight. And then pop goes the weasel. It'll look like 4th of July. It'll look like World War III. It'll look like 4th of July. Potato and patata. Tomato and tomato. Some people say his name Jesus. And the devil wears Prada. Well, I say nada. I call him by his proper. Yah is the Father, and yes, I know Yahweh. Life is just a snack. Just wait until the entree. You'll find yourself, and yourself will be found. Admire who you are. Don't be frowned. If you live this life right, you'll get a white gown. So smile. Hold up. Tell me this. Why do people think that they're so invincible? They'll walk by you, can't say hi like you're invisible. Then they act like they made a pact with the devil, then act so mystical and so whimsical, like money is not dispensable. It's not typical to be that difficult, like you're in a cult. So carry your little behind over there, back in the yard, acting like you a dog, unless you wanna spar. You are not a god, so why you acting hard? And no, I didn't check organ donor on my identification card. Alright, what's up with the moon? Why the sky blue? Is the world round? Is the world flat? Who's the real Jew? And why my skin black? Who's the real you? Ask yourself that. What's up with the moon? Why the sky blue? Is the world round? Is the world flat? Who's the real Jew? Why my skin black? Who's the real you? Ask yourself that. What's up with the android? What's up with the humanoid? What's up with Siri? Why she acting all serious? Like she got her own voice. What's up with the government? Why they always trying to cover... never mind. Wouldn't give a peppermint to an old veteran that's looking for some money and a lifestyle change, that's looking for some betterment. They doing some embezzlement. It's not so puzzling. No, we got the covenant. They made me want to get a stick and get the key and have a moving like a chicken, like a... Oh, no, never mind. I ain't even... Let me chill. Let me keep it real. Let me chill. Let me keep it real. What's up with the moon? Why the sky blue? Is the world round? Is the world flat? Who's the real Jew? And why my skin black? Who's the real you? Ask yourself that. I can tell you why the sky is blue. The sky is blue because of the sapphire that is a part of the heavenly floor in heaven. And it shines on the earth that gives its blue hue. And it's incredible. It's just amazing. It's just one of the answers that I have. But I have a lot of questions. And I have answers that I need. Q&A. I just want to talk to you for a little bit. I gotta talk to you for a little bit. I see you in your all red dress, looking like a wine punch. My gosh, would love to take you out to lunch. Bow tie, black shoes, me and you. And you know I gotta wear tux. You deserve to find the things in life. Diamond rings and anything you need. Diamond rings and everything you need. And I love to... Listen, I don't want to talk about your beauty. I just want to talk about the way that you are as a human being. Cause the way you make me feel, babe, I can't explain, so I had to get a track. I had to call my homeboy up to make a track, just to tell you how I feel on this track. And I'm hoping that you know, hope you understand, that I wanna have this dance with you tonight, baby. So let's slow dance tonight, baby. Yeah. And I love the way your smile is. And I love the way our time is. When we spending quality time together, and we holding hands in the city, and I remember our first trip to New York, and I tripped up on that part, but I'm glad you got my heart. I'm glad that I met you. I know I can't sing, but I need to let you know that so glad to have this dance with you. To have this dance with you is so special. Let's slow dance. Let's slow dance. I know I can't sing, babe, but I hope you like the melody. If I hit the studio, I'ma make you one. I'd make you a whole album if I had the money and the time to do it on one take. We can go somewhere on spring break, maybe Cancun, have the money, hit the moon. If I had the moon, I'd probably give you cheese. And if I had the hair store, I'd give you weave. And if I was a drug man, I'd give you weed. But I ain't that, and I don't smoke. And you know that I'm being real, cause I ain't joking. Baby, I ain't joking. I'm just glad to have the slow dance. I'm just glad to have the slow dance. And I'm glad to be your man. Yeah. Looking in your pretty eyes. Jamie Foxx, where you at? Jamie Foxx just sang the hook. I'm back. We back. Are you enjoying the show thus far? I hope you're enjoying it thus far. Again, I'm your host, Michael Israel. And even though today is a gift for you, if you would like to hear more music, if you would like to see more shows, and you want to help support with equipment, or you just want to show love, I'm not going to deny my blessing. So if you do want to give, you can visit ko-fi.com/Real TV. And any monetary that you send my way will definitely be appreciated. You can see the link below. In the meanwhile, let's play static. Sometimes you just have to explain the way you feel. You just have to I'm not a rebel. Hell no, I don't worship no devils. Please don't make me be wrathful. All vengeance to the Most High. I know inside you feel empty. Just pray and the Most High is with me. It's what you need to say to yourself to be productive. Don't try to go and measure the sin because it's a lot of pleasure. The rainstorm is raining. Why now? Abundance flowing to me right now. Don't be madly and don't be deceived. Don't eat the fruit like Eve. Don't try to be ashamed. This life is not a game. I'm about to go on a rampage. I need the Most High to save. Oh, right now, this is a rage. I know the sound is heavy. This is not heavy metal. The Heavenly Father is mine. All mine, He's in my life. Don't try to ask me why. Are you not a part of the flock? You are like a boat on a dock. God is the opposite of dogs. Fifth Avenue is where they shop. Distribution, old-fashioned, the gorgeous. Yes, these words are really gorgeous. If you understand it, you can afford it. Harmonious birds punish rats quickly, good. Stalking the stair, don't bump your toe in the ocean. Why are you people still voting for the wrong person? That's not God. Ah! Ah! Did that. The best part of waking up. It's not Folgers in my cup. It's when I get a call from you. Right when I'm waking up. Did that. Did that. Why did you go there? Why'd you have to go there? You didn't have to go there. Why'd you have to go there? I know. Didn't mean no harm. I got a that's a little freestyle right there. I want to make that into a song. My dad's in prison, and despite of him not being in my life and the tension we got going on right now, I still love him. I love my mom, and I'm thankful that she's in the truth, and I'm thankful that my dad is in the truth. And I know that things has been tough for him. He's been in and out of prison for a long time, since 92. He's been in and out of prison since 1992. Robbed a bank and all that stuff. And, you know, it's heart-wrenching, man, because, you know, like when you try to be close and then the tension arise, it could put a damper on things. And, you know, we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. And, you know, I just try to do the best that I can. I try to, you know, stay in touch with my dad, my brother who's in prison. Go see him. I need to see my brother. Haven't yet. No excuse. No excuse. But it's a work in progress. Me and my dad, we fell out recently. And on my end, I was respectful and I was respectful and but I did voice my opinion about some things that I didn't want to hear. And it was just something that was so menacing that was said. And, it's just something that was said, like, he was like, how I used to beat up my mom and, like, stuff like that. And then, I had let it slide the first time. I wasn't mean anything, when he told me. And I was just like, the Lord forgives all, that's part of the past. We can move forward. The Lord forgives you all this stuff. He knows the scripture in and out. Read the Bible like 7 times. He is a scholar. He read the Bible. He and read the Quran. I mean, he is well versed and he knows that word. But then he brought it up again at the end of a conversation, like right at the end, about visitation. He met this lady and he had to slap her down during the visitation. He said slapped her down like he slapped my mom when he used to drink whiskey. I'm like, man, what? You know what I mean? I'm like, Dad, like, why do you keep telling me about your past? It's like we had this thing, like, where, like I would ask him questions and stuff. He was like, it is what it is, son. Let the past be the past. We just gonna focus on us. Like, I don't want to get into all my business, but like, I couldn't bring up certain things, so I let it be. And then like he's like pestering me, and like saying things that were hurtful and made me sad. And not living with my mom until I was like really 13, really. It's like the time where I really lived with her, like for like my first like real experience. I grew up in a house full of 9 people. Well, I might as well say 12. Grew up in a house with 12 people. And I really didn't have the best relationship with my mom at the time. She joined the service, and I really didn't get to have that bond. It was just like at grandma's house, But I'm just saying that to give appreciation for my family, because they brought me into this world today. Even though my dad is different, in better words, he's just a different person. And I can't fault my mom for not being there as a child when she tried her best that she could to, make sure me and my sisters were taken care of. She had to make a decision, and she joined the service, and she had to go on tour. She had to go to Kuwait. She had to go to like Iraq and stuff. You know what I mean? So I thank her for her service. I thank my dad for, just even trying to bond with me in the midst of his sentence. He won't be out for another 10 years. My brother the same. And, that's just that. And, not a lot of words can explain your apologies or how you really feel sometimes. So, this is just something that I made in respect of that. To my mom, to my dad, thank you for giving me life today on this day, July 9th. And I apologize for anything that I ever done wrong in your eyes and the things that I've said, and that I was your mini me, and now hopefully I'm the better me version of you to my mom and dad. And what's crazy is like, my mom was in the army, right? And she's an accountant. She's good with money. My mom was a soldier, Soldier got to work out. They got to do push-ups. They got to do drills and all this stuff on a regular. My dad, he robbed the bank. He wasn't good with money. My mom is good with money. She's an accountant. And my dad is breaking world records. He's trying to break world records. He does 4,000 sit-ups a day. He could do 1,200 sit-ups in an hour. He does 4-hour workouts a day. It's like, so, isn't that so weird? And I love working out. I love running. Like my dad is like a whiz. My mom is a whiz. Like, my mom is great at math. Excellent at math. Took all the calculus, all the college algebra, all the statistics. Excellent at math. A+ student. Me, I'm great with money, but I hate math. I mean, I graduated with honors in high school and things, and pretty okay in college. And my dad, he took a lot of courses throughout prison and stuff. It's just weird how things work, but man, to my mom, to my dad, to my family, I just apologize, for any wrongdoing that I've done, and I love you very much, and this one's for you. I don't even know what to say right now, but the only thing that I can do is tell the truth. And I apologize, really do. I apologize. Damn, I think I need to make another song. Just when I think I'm living right, the whole time I've been living wrong, and I just been treating you wrong. I'm supposed to be your man. I'm supposed to be your breadwinner. I'm supposed to stick to the plan. And I know that I'm a provider, but I shouldn't be providing my heart and my feelings outside of our relationship. That's my bad. I've been the bad man. I want to change that, rearrange that, and I know I can look you in the eyes and tell you I don't want to say it, but tell you my lies, and I never lied. I look you in the eyes and I told you I never held up a disguise. I know I said I'm like, I know I never said I'm like them other guys, but I'm just like them other guys, cause I won't change, but I will change. And I did pray, and it seemed weird because I'm doing this, it's like I'm doing the same things. And I told you what was up, that we'll get a crib, and we'll stay in love, and we'll have some kids, and we'll have some bud. In Denver, Colorado, just selling the bud, but I don't sell bud. I'm not a thug. I just want to show you that I'm still in love. I want to hold your hand, take trips around the world, show you that you still my girl. It's not about the bling. I know that I should be wearing my ring. I apologize. I know I treated you bad. I apologize. I said some bad things and I apologize. I can't take it back, but I can show you better though. From here on out, I'ma try to show you better. And I'ma try to do better. I know I said it 1,000 times or 100 times, but I'ma show you better. Show you better than I tell you. I can show you better than I tell you. And I apologize. I said I'm nothing like them other guys. And I'ma show you that. Because I'm nothing like them other guys. I apologize. I'ma work it out and do it. All glory to the Most High. He's worthy to be praised. So let us pray. And we'll praise our Father. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Heavenly Father, I thank you for the life you've given me, and I praise you so sincerely, and I praise you so cheerfully. I'm so thankful for everything you've done. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. 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 I just want to take this time to praise you, oh Lord. You deserve the praise. You deserve the praise. Heavenly Father, your kingdom will come on earth. Your word is true. Your word is always true. And your word is forever. You change not. But you have given us this opportunity to repent unto you and to live our best life, to do the best that we can. So we honor you, Father. And thank you for everything that you're continuing to do in our lives. You're more than worthy to be praised, Yahweh. Thank you so much, Father. Bless those. Protect those. Make them men and women of you, O Heavenly Father. Thank you, our Father. I thought you knew my potential. I'd rather work for y'all than working 9 to 5. We don't want to work for y'all, we get our own job. The way you treat us when you wrong, you know you out of line. The way y'all treat us when you wrong, you know you out of line. Y'all don't love us. Snakes don't love doves. Y'all really love blood. Y'all don't even trust us. Got us cooking in your kitchen, don't trust us. But anyway, see why Jordan Peele made the movie Us. See why he made the movie Get Out. Y'all really want us out. And it's coming out. And we coming up on 400. I hope you really want it. We coming up on 400. And it's all good. Hope you understand. Hope you got a plan. We coming up on 400. And it's all good. Hope you understand. Hope you got a plan. I see your little aggravation. Always trying to start an altercation. Must be your admiration. Always trying to start an accusation. And it's all good. When I saw 11:11, my affirmation, I didn't get so agitated. The Most High led me to you. So hopefully you can know the truth. I'm a sheep and you a damn wolf. And we could care about your damn wall. Acting like you want some Adderall. acting like you need some tramadol. So radical, or so radical. We coming up on 400, but it's all good. Hope you understand. Hope you got a plan. We coming up on 400, but it's all good. Hope you understand. Hope you got a plan. Kareem, Dad, Mama. Kareem, Dad, Mama. Kareem, I know you locked up, bruh. I know you locked up, bruh. Hey. Hey, I apologize for not writing you, bruh. I apologize for not writing you, bruh. I started writing, I never wrote back. I started writing, I never wrote back. I apologize, bruh. I apologize. I should have put money on your commissary, bruh. I apologize, I apologize. I shouldn't got groceries with that commissary, bruh. At 17, bruh. Shot somebody. 17 shot somebody over a drug deal. I'm sorry that your mama died, bruh. I'm sorry that your mama died, bruh. We have brothers, but you still my bruh. You still my bruh. You was still in the pen. They gave you 25. Last year you went in the pen, bruh. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. One time. I wish that I could hug you right now. One time. I wish that I can call you right now. One time. Daddy, I never met you. I mean, I only met you when I was 21. When I was 21. I met you first time at 21. I remember when you got out, Dad. We were running together, Dad. We went to Golden Corral, Dad. I wrote you letters and you wrote back. A lot of times we was on the phone. I called you on the phone. I told you about my problems. I told you about my mama. I told you damn. I don't mean to curse. You robbed 2 banks. I don't mean to curse, but you robbed 2 banks. And on the 3rd time, you robbed a place by my job, but now you in the pen. You still in the pen. One time. Oh man, one time. I wish that I could hug you right now. One time. I wish that I could call you right now. One time. I wish that I could see you right now. One time. I wish that I could. One time. Mama, I thank you for joining the military. Mama, I thank you for showing me the world. Mama, I thank you for telling me about the girl. Mama told you. I don't even know what to say. My heart singing. I don't even know what to say. My heart singing. I don't even know what to say. My heart painting. It's a lot of pain. It's a lot of pain. One time. I wish that I could hug you right now. I wish that I can call you right now. I wish that I can see you right now. I wish that I could love you right now. I gotta do better right now. Cause I only got one time. My cousin Theron died. I can't even cry. Alligator tears right now, I can't cry. I wanna cry. I gotta do right. I only got one time. Stressed. Just listen to Kurt Cobain. Don't need propane. Don't need no rhyme. Don't need no line. If we going in, I just need to listen to Jim Morrison. No line, no rhyme. If we on the ship and stop by the dock, hold up, just let me listen to Pop. No line, no rhyme. No lines, no rhyme. If I ever started rapping and started making people laughing, hold up, just let me watch Charlie Chaplin. No rhyme, no line, no rhyme. And we are back. Today's show is called A Gift for You. And I hope that this show today can provide you with some information that you've never heard before, and can inspire you. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Okay, guys, pardon me there. I had to take care of some business really quick. Let's get into today's show, A Gift for You, and let's wrap it up. By the way, just to chime you in, for those who've been keeping up with the show, and then we're gonna get into the scripture really quickly here. One of the last shows, I spoke about how I got takeout and I didn't get my money in the right change, right? And somebody at the job where I got the takeout from, they put an extra tip on the bill, and I didn't. And I wrote a whole follow up. I wrote like a 2-page letter to the owner, and the owner is personally delivering a gift card today. Like, what are the odds, right? So yeah, I'm gonna finish this up here because they're on their way, and I wanted to meet with them. So, but this is important. This is a gift for you, and it's crazy how I'm getting a gift card today. All right, so here's a gift for you. I want to share with you scripture about Noah. And there's some details that I want you to pay attention to that is very interesting. Now, we're not going to get into the part about how many animals was there in the boat. We're not going to talk in depth about the, how can I say, we know that the time is at nigh, that we're living in the signs of the times right now, and so it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be for the second coming of man, meaning that there's a lot of different things that are going to take place very, very soon, as far as plagues, with this real second wave of the coronavirus, the mark of the beast, tribulation, so much more. We're at that time, right? So what I wanted to share with you is this. And we're reading from Genesis. We're going to start at, so if you got your phone, you could flip it to Genesis, King James Version, chapter 7. We'll start at chapter 7 in Genesis. And then we're going to read precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Okay? To bring it all together. Okay? So, all right. Chapter 7, verse 5. And Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him. That line itself is very, very powerful. How many of us do all that the Lord commands us to do? Nobody. It's not tough to do, but it's the fact that we don't want to do it, or we slip up, or we feel that we're not good enough to continue. Some people feel like they've sinned too much. That you ever felt, all right, I know we all was at this place, like where you ever felt like you sinned so much, you was like, I got to get right first, and then I'll go to church, or I got to get right first, and then I'll, try to live for the Lord. You try to work it out on your own, when the Lord wants you to give the burden to him. He'll make your sins as white as snow, even though they be as black as a sackcloth. So Noah did everything that the Lord commanded him to do. Everything. We're trying to get to that point where we can do everything, all that the Lord commands us to do. Right? All right, so let's go to verse 6. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of the waters was upon the earth. Let's read that one more time. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters was upon the earth. Every word, every verse, every scripture in the Bible has significant meaning. Sometimes when we're reading the numbers and the ages, you just skip right over it. But it has so much meaning, so much value. I remember when I first read Genesis, and you read the lineage, you're like, man, they're just naming all these names. This one came from that one, and that one, this one. And you just skip right over it. Have you ever done that? Or you're looking at the ages, and you're like, okay, yeah, this one's that old, this old. And then you're like, it's like, why did even, it's not like, why did they put it in there? But you try to read it, and then you get lost in it. And we're going to detail that in a minute. One day I took notes, and I took some very good notes, and it's some information that you need to know about your lineage and family tree. And that's a whole different show itself, but we'll touch into that shortly. What I want you to get from this is that the gift in this world is the gift that we can give to each other. And what I got from this scripture, when you read this whole book, you could read 6, 7, and 8. You could read more if you want. But 6, 7, and 8 is good. It really kicks off in 7, 8, and 9. And in other parts of the Bible and in other books of the Bible that they took out, like the Apocrypha, the Lost Scripts, and things. But to stay on task, what I got from this is that Noah entered the ark on his birthday. This is what I'm assuming. All right, let's just make an assumption here. I got to do more research on this to confirm that Noah went into the ark on his birthday. But I'm just making an assumption here right now because I don't know. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a pastor. I never went to Bible college or school for theology or anything. I just pick up the book. I happen to read it. Sometimes I pray and fast to get a lot of this truth that I deliver to y'all. It don't just come from something, oh yeah, I'm going to wake up and read this and I'm going to tell them. No, I go through different stages to get certain information sometimes. But hear me out on this. Hear me out. Verse 6 in chapter 7 of Genesis. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters was upon the earth. All right, now let's go down. Let's go down to verse 11. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, the same day, all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened up. All right, now listen. In verse 6, it tells us that Noah was 600 years old when the flood of the waters upon the earth came down. Why did they tell us that Noah was 600 years old? Now, when you go to verse 11, it says that in the 600th year, so it's still Noah was still 600 years old. But then the scripture gets very, very particular. It says in the second month, on the 17th day of the month. So what is the second month? We know that in the real calendar starts in the month of March. The month of March starts the new year off. It is the month of Abib. Okay, I meant the month of Nisan, and then you have the month of Abib, which is April. So Noah, it looks like it was born. He could have been born in April, which is the second month. It's not February like in this paganistic calendar that we all got to take heed to. But the second month is Abib. Okay? Which is April. So it says in the 600th year of Noah's life, Noah was 600 years old, in the second month, which is April, on the 17th day. So April 17th, it says the fountains of the great deep broken up. Why is it telling us the day? The Lord wants us to know something, and this is what he's telling us. Making an assumption here. I got to do more research. But we're going to put two and two together, and you can tell me what you think. All right. Now let's read that one more time, and then we're going to hop down to a different verse in a different chapter, and we're going to pull this all together. Okay, so we're in chapter 7 of Genesis, verse 11. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, the same day. It says the same day. Why does it say the same day? You know what I mean? So obviously, this day had to have been special for Noah. You feel me? Are you getting this? In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month. It says the same day. Why does it say the same day? It could have just been like the 17th day of the month, were all the fountains of the great deep broken up. No, it's saying the same day. So what do they mean by the same day? Obviously, this is the year of Noah's life. This has to be it. All right, now let's go down to chapter 8. We're going to Genesis chapter 8, verse 13. Genesis chapter 8, verse 13. Look this up. Don't just listen, even though faith comes by hearing. But use your phone, use the book as a guideline. Genesis chapter 8, verse 13. All right. Now, this is after the flood happened, right? This is at verse 13. This is after the flood. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. Verse 14. And the second month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, the earth was dried. All right. So obviously Noah had turned 601 years old. It says, and it came to pass in the 601st year. That means 601. So Noah was 601 years old. In the first month. All right. So now we're at the month of March now. We're in the month of Nisan. So maybe Noah was 601 years old. From at some point from the beginning of him going into the ark, he was 600 years old. Dang near what it seems to be, even though his birthday had to come up somewhere from the beginning to this point, because Noah is now 601 years old. But we're not in the month of we're not in the second month now. So maybe he could have been born in March, maybe. In the month of Nisan. It says in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up off the earth. But then again, it's given us dates, it's given us years, it's given us a time span for a reason. And I say that a gift is for you, even though I can't put two and two together right now as far as the exact date, when exactly was Noah's birthday. But the fact is that when our time comes around and the day that we're born, we have ritually been given expectations. We have went throughout our lives with the expectation to receive, to get gifts, to get cake, to get ice cream, to have a party, to have music, to get clothes, to go out, to have sex, get drunk, turn up, you know what I mean? Do it up, go on vacay. It's okay if you take off from work or whatever. I mean, so, or things like that. But I'm not saying that you can't have a good meal or whatnot. But I'm saying that we have to change the way we did things before. We're not put on this world to just get. We're seeds. There's a parable about how Yeshua said in a parable how there's a farmer that went and planted good seeds. But then there was like Satan that went around and he planted bad seeds behind the farmer. Like, we're considered seeds. A seed blossoms into a tree. A tree is a giver. The more you give, the more you get. But it's not about getting, even though you give. It's not about receiving, even though you give. If thou give, thou shalt receive. It's not about the receiving part that you expect, but it's the gladness and the joy of just giving. You know how it is when back in the day, you used to shop for those Christmas gifts, how good it felt. Like at first you kind of didn't want to spend the money, but then you get started. As soon as you get the ball rolling and spending money, you want to get a gift for everybody. You want to get a gift for everybody in the family or everybody at work. You don't want to count nobody out. But we are put here to help one another. And today, it's not even about gifts for me. I'm getting all kind of messages and congrats, on today, which is special and it's nice. But I'm not expecting a gift. I don't want a package. I don't want a cake, per se. I want to change the way I did things. I want to change the way I do things. We should change the way we do things, and we should be a gift to someone, not receive a gift. It's not about a gift of receiving. You feel me? So I hope you can really, understand this It's not difficult to understand. But yeah, man. That's that in a nutshell, man. Let's go to the next here. So also really quick about Noah. Noah was albino. Noah came out different. He came out different. Everybody else was black, but Noah came out different. The angels in heaven, believe it or not, the fallen angels got to be albino. They either got to be albino or I mean, because, all right, let's just put two and two together here. All right, let's go down here, and we're going to read from the book of Enoch. Let's see here. We're going to talk about how when Noah was born, how he was looking a little bit different. All right. So in Enoch, the first book of Enoch, chapter 106, verse 1. In some days, my son, Methuselah took a wife for his son Lamech, and she became pregnant by him and bore a son. And his body was white as snow and red as a rose, and the hair of his head as white as wool. So, this means that this is a black person. We're talking about an albino. Albinos have wool-like hair. They don't have silk-like hair. They don't have sebaceous glands that produce their own oil. They don't have silky hair like other races. Our hair don't produce its own wool. That's why the scripture says, "Put a little oil upon thy hair." Who do you think the book is wrote? Who do you think the Bible is written for when it talks about that? Put a little oil upon thy hair. Can you imagine if a Chinese person, an Asian person, Indian, a Caucasian person was to slop some oil on their hair? It's not meant for them, their hair. Not saying that they can't put some on there, but their hair makes their own. That's why it's so silky and smooth and soft looking. Because their hair naturally produces oil. They have to wash it dang near every day, if not every day. Our hair does not produce oil. That's why we got to put a little bit in there. This book is written for us. Noah came out white as snow, red as a rose. Albino people have reddish-like skin. They have reddish-like skin, and they're basically white as snow. Now, we're going to find a reference here that the fallen angels are white, or the fallen angels are Caucasian, if you will. Okay? The hair of his head as white as wool, and his diadema beautiful. And for his eyes, when he opened them, the whole house glowed like the sun. Rather, the whole house glowed even more exceedingly. So they saying that this family lineage is so pure, they were living so righteously by the Lord, that their house was already glowing with the good energy. But it says that the house glowed even more exceedingly. When they say even more exceedingly, they basically tell us that the house already was glowing because of the righteous life that they were living in the eyes of the Lord. But when they had Noah, it glowed even more exceedingly. And you wonder why a lot of the Caucasians wear shades around you. I see it all the time, especially when I'm helping guests. Like when they're talking to me, they put their shades on. It's like they cannot stand. It's so weird. If you ever see the movie They Lived, in the movie They Lived, they put on the shades to see the people. Well, the opposite is true. The people have on shades. The people that we need to look out for are the ones that be wearing shades all the time. Not saying that you can't wear it for sport or wear it for style, but a lot of them wear it by choice, by the elements of this world. They can't look at the sun. They can't even have the sun around there. All right, I'm gonna get back in on task here, but check this. I had a couple of guys, different guys, say on the job who were white. They said that they had to wear shades. They have to have it. They got to wear a pair because if they don't, they get a headache. Not even looking at the sun or nothing. Nobody looks at the sun technically, but they have to wear it because they get a headache or they get blurry vision and stuff. It could be a cloudy day early in the morning. Sun didn't even rise yet. They got the shades on. All right. Anyways, all right. Let's get back to the scripture here. The whole house glowed even more exceedingly. And when he arose from the hands of the midwife, he opened up his mouth and spoke to the Lord with righteousness. And his father Lamech was afraid. When he arose from the midwife, he opened up his mouth and spoke to the Lord with righteousness. We're talking about, oh my goodness, we're talking about Noah here. Noah spoke to the Lord and his father. It says, and his father. Whose father? His father. Well, who is him? Noah. So he opened up his mouth and spoke to the Lord with righteousness. Can you believe that? A baby. I don't know if he was doing baby talk or just talking sentences. But there's going to come a time, too, when in these days, these babies are going to be speaking sentences coming out the womb, just like it was in Noah's time. All right. It says, and his father Lamech was afraid of him and fled and went to Methuselah, his father. Everybody heard about Methuselah. Methuselah is the longest one that lived, right? In the scripture. Okay. So Noah was speaking coming out the womb. Lamech was afraid and fled and went to his father Methuselah. Methuselah lived to be, 969 years old, right? Okay. And he said to him, I have begotten a strange son. He is not like an ordinary human being, but he looks like the children of the angels of heaven to me. Did you hear that? Noah looked like the children of the angels of heaven. The fallen angels, the angels in heaven look like Noah. Noah has skin that is white as snow, albino. And you wonder why people in Africa and other parts of the world are hunting down and killing albinos for their bones, sucking on their bones and drinking their blood for witchcraft powers and telekinesis and all type of stuff. Okay, let's read down. All right. Okay. He looks like the children of the angels of heaven to me. His form is different, and he is not like us. His eyes are like the rays of the sun, and his face glorious. It does not seem to me that he is of me, but of angels. And I fear that a wondrous phenomenon may take place upon the earth in his days. And it goes on to say more. But Noah was an albino. I wanted to share that with you. Not only that, but just to coincide with the show, a gift for you. If Noah went in his ark on his birthday or around his birthday, it wasn't about him. He was doing for others. He was doing for his family. He was doing for a better world. You know? And a lot of time we worry about receiving. And it's not about that. It's about giving. We have to change our lifestyle. Another thing that I wanted to point out really quick. Let's go to since we're in the book of Genesis, I want to tie just one more couple things together for you real quick, and we're about to wrap it up and go. What time is it? Okay. All right. And we're going to wrap it up and go. So check this. Okay. In the book of Genesis chapter 3, we know that Adam and Eve, after they ate the fruit, they made themselves aprons. And we know that in the brotherhood, they used the apron as a symbolic relic to coincide with the sin that Adam and Eve partook of in eating the fruit. In the brotherhood, they get a certain amount of knowledge, and when they get this apron, they have eaten the forbidden fruit. Okay, it has nothing to do with biblical praise to Yahweh or anything like that. They're using it as mockery. But in Genesis chapter 3, verse 7, it says, "And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons." The scripture doesn't say anything about them eating figs. It didn't say anything about them eating figs in that regards, as the fig was a forbidden fruit. That is not what it's saying. So people like to take that reference and say, "Oh, they ate figs," or "they ate an apple." It's not an apple. It doesn't say that. It says that they use fig leaves. Now, in this modern day, you'll be like, "Man, that is so dumb. Why did they use fig leaves? Figs are so tiny." No, we're talking about a different time here. We're talking about a different time here. We're going to come back to the figs in a moment. But check this out. Let's go down to, we're going to stay in chapter 3 of Genesis. But we're going to go down to verse 21. Adam and Eve, they had a form of knowledge, but they didn't have the knowledge at that point. They're wise, but not that wise. Not wise enough to wear the proper clothing. And speaking of that, I'm going to get into the scripture in a second, but speaking of that, I want to say this, because when this purge happens, women in particular have to be very cautious of what they're wearing. The tights, the skirts, the heels and wedges and mules and things like that. You got to be very, very circumspect with how you're dressing now. Because when this economy shuts down, people are going to be looting not only, but raping also. Snatching and killing women. And you got to be suited up and ready to stay booted up and handle your business. Run if you got to run. Sneakers, you know what I mean? And not so much like like with the leggings where, the booty and everything is all out, and, just be cautious. Be very cautious, dressed in modest apparel. Ain't nothing wrong with looking nice, but you just want to be careful. You want to be careful with that. And you want to be available to be active at any time. If you got to sprint, if you got to run up some stairs, run down some stairs, if the car breaks down, traffic's backed up on the highway, and you got to run from or walk from, you know what I mean? You got to just be prepared. All right. So Adam and Eve, they made fig leaves, but they didn't make the right outfit. The Lord had to make them something. In verse 21, we're still in Genesis chapter 3. Unto Adam also, and to his wife, did the Lord Yahweh make coats of skins and clothe them. So the Lord made Adam and Eve a garment that we know of, right? Now I want you to understand about the type of figs that they ate, and I want you to know what happened with this garment. Very, very important. So for one, the figs that they ate, it was a different time. The figs were the size of watermelons back then. The Garden of Eden is placed on the east, the most eastern part of the world. That's what a Garden of Eden is. It's on the most eastern part of the world in the book of Adam and Eve. As we know, the sun rises on the east and sets on the west. So this Garden of Eden has the most bountiful produce in the entire world. We get a sort of miniature glimpse of the type of things that farmers can grow when you see those big old pumpkins and big old pieces of squash and things like that. That's just a small dash of what that fig really was back in Eden. The real fig was the size of watermelons. So if the fig was the size of watermelon that they ate, imagine the leaves. The leaf got to be the size of like a basketball or better. So you could believe that when the Lord created Adam and Eve, he created them in perfection, and Adam was endowed. Adam didn't use no puny fig leaf to cover up his stuff, and Eve didn't use no golf ball sized fig leaf to cover up her breast. You could best believe they had the best of the best body structure, and their temple was perfect, absolutely perfect. All right, so let's get back now. Off of the fig, on to the garment. Okay, reading from the book of Jasher. From the book of Jasher, chapter 7, in regards to Noah. This is what happened to the garments when the Lord made these coats for Adam and Eve. Verse 24, and the garment of skin which the Heavenly Father made for Adam and his wife, when they went out of the garden, were given to Cush. For after the death of Adam and his wife, the garments were given to Enoch, the son of Jared. And when Enoch was taken up to Yahweh, he gave them to Methuselah, his son. And at the death of Methuselah, Noah took them and brought them to the ark. And they were with him until he went out of the ark. And in their going out, Ham stole those garments from Noah his father, and he took them and hid them from his brothers. Now, we're not going to go into any more into that. But listen to me. All right. Let's read a little bit more. Let's read a little bit more, because I know this is probably your first time hearing this, and this is edgy. This is such a blessing, and I hope this is a gift to you. All right, so I'll read a little bit more. And they're going out. Ham stole those garments from Noah his father, and he took them and hid them from his brothers. And when Ham begot his firstborn Cush, he gave him the garments in secret, and they were with Cush many days. And Cush also concealed them from his sons and brothers. And when Cush had begotten Nimrod, he gave those garments through his love for him. And Nimrod grew up. And when he was 21 years old, he put on those garments. And Nimrod became strong when he put on the garments. And Yahweh gave him might and strength, and he was a mighty hunter in the earth. And he was a mighty hunter in the field. And he hunted the animals and built altars. And he offered up the animals before the Lord. All right, listen. It's very, very deep. It's very, very deep. And I hope this is a gift to you if you've never heard this. I hope this is a gift to you because it truly was a gift to me when I first read it for the first time. Absolutely just breathtaking. The garments that Adam and Eve wore are still here today. And I say that because they were originally born in their birthday suit. We were all born in our birthday suit. We didn't know about clothing before we ate the fruit. But every year, on your born day, the day you were born, every year, from here on out, on the day you were born, or on a day when someone else that you may know of, or anytime you hear a birthday, you should now be reminded that Adam and Eve were walking around in their birthday suit before they ate the fruit. And then they had to sew fig leaves together to make themselves an apron. They got it all wrong, but the Lord made them coats. And these coats are still in the world today. And some leader in this world has it. I don't know if it's the president. I don't know if it's the Vatican. Somebody got it. They're still in this world today. I hope today's show was a gift to you. I'm going to hit you with one more bop gun real quick, and then we out. All right. So I took some notes, and it's important to know the lineage. But this is a whole nother show. You probably need a visual for this because some people are visual learners. But here's the family tree. Even though my dad and my mom birthed me, for this entire world, we're derived from Adam and Eve. And then we're derived from Noah's family, right? So it's important that we know our family tree. A lot of people like to go to, well, I don't know how many, but some people like to go to Ancestry.com or try to get DNA results to see where they're from and stuff, which is all a ploy anyway. It's all rigged. It's owned by the Jewish, and they control the demographic of where your information comes from. And they're not telling you the full story. But here's the full story about the biblical family tree of where we come from. And it all is in the book of Genesis chapter 4. You can start in Genesis chapter 4 and research this and read it for yourself and take notes, and you'll see that the bear witness of the truth. All right? Adam and Eve bare Cain. That was their first son in Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. Cain is the tiller of the ground. Eve then bare Abel. That's in Genesis chapter 4. Abel, he is a keeper of the sheep. All right? Cain dwelt in the land of Nod, which was east of Eden. You can find that in Genesis chapter 4, verse 16. Cain and his wife, they bear Enoch. Now, keep in mind now, there's two Enochs. But let's go on. Cain built a city and named the city after his son Enoch. This is the lineage of Cain. In Genesis chapter 4, verse 17, Cain begat Enoch. Okay? And then after Enoch was born, he begat Arad. Arad begat Mehujael. Okay? And then in Genesis chapter 4, verse 18, then it was Methusael. Not Methuselah, Methusael. You see how it's very close? All right. Cain begot Enoch, and then Enoch was born. He got Arad, and then Arad begot Mehujael. And then Mehujael begot Methusael. Methusael begot Lamech. Now there's two Lamechs. There's one Lamech in Genesis chapter 4, verse 19. Lamech took unto him two wives, Adah and Zillah. Adah bore Jabal, which dwelled in tents and had cattle. Adah also bore Jubal. He played the harp and the organ. So she had 2 sons. Ada had 2 sons, Jabal and Jubal. And then Zillah, you go to Genesis chapter 4, verse 22, Zillah, she bore Tubal Cain. In the brotherhood, in the Masonic realm, they abide by this Tubal Cain thing. He was good with brass and iron. And it's just so deep, yo, the bloodline. But I just kind of want to get you a quick outline real quick. There's 2 Enochs, there's 2 Lamechs, but there's a Methusael and there's a Methuselah. Okay? But again, I hope this was a gift to you. We got more to come soon. Love you much.